Every week, it feels like Drake is falling further from the top. His new album, SSS for You, was meant to be his grand comeback, but instead, it's crumbling. And with each passing day, his place in hip hop feels less secure. Once the undisputed king of rap, Drake's dominance is now seriously being questioned. Why? Kendrick Lamar's rise is outshining everything Drake is trying to do. From SSS for You's disappointing streams to his increasingly desperate moves to regain control, it's clear that the landscape of hip-hop has shifted, and Drake's reign might just be over. Let's break it down, because the full story here is far from pretty. Let's start with the basics. Drake's latest project, SSS for You, was supposed to reassert his dominance in the rap game. But instead, it's doing the exact opposite. The album has had a miserable performance in terms of streams, something unheard of for an artist like Drake. To make matters worse, it's the first album of his career in the streaming era to not even come close to landing a #1 song. Fans were expecting an instant hit, but instead, they got something that barely even made a ripple in the charts. The public reaction has been mixed at best, but the numbers don't lie. This is an all-time low for Drake, who has prided himself on being the go-to name in hip-hop for over a decade. SSS for You is struggling to even stay relevant in the midst of releases from other artists who are dominating the space. This failure is becoming more than just a bad album. It's a sign that his influence in the industry might be waning. The larger issue here? Drake is realizing that beyond Kendrick Lamar's incredible rise, his own actions and moves are starting to mean less and less in the world of hip-hop. Now, let's talk about Kendrick. Drake's career was once defined by a long-standing beef with Kendrick Lamar. But now it's clear who the public is siding with. Kendrick has firmly taken the crown, and with his releases, particularly Not Like Us and Kendrick is making waves in ways that Drake hasn't been able to match in years. While Drake is over here with a struggling album, Kendrick is racking up streams, awards, and accolades with ease. But it's more than just Kendrick's success that bothers Drake. It's the fact that Drake can't seem to let go of this feud. Despite knowing that directly dissing Kendrick has done nothing but damage his own reputation, Drake is still trying to throw subtle jabs as if to keep the fire burning. These jabs, however, are coming off as childish and ineffective. In fact, the more Drake tries to undermine Kendrick, the more he looks like he's grasping at straws. At this point, Kendrick has proven he's the current king of rap. He's running the game, and there's no question about it. Drake's repeated attempts to stay relevant in this ongoing feud are becoming a joke, especially as the public continues to ignore his subtle disses. The reality is, every time Drake tries to take a swing, he misses, and it's becoming painfully obvious. Drake's disses have shifted from direct attacks to passive-aggressive, almost comical attempts to undermine Kendrick. In SSS for You, Drake throws in a line that mocks Kendrick by implying that rap fans need a dictionary to understand his complex lyrics. It's an obvious shot at Kendrick's lyricism, but here's the thing. No one is impressed. Fans laughed, not at Kendrick, but at Drake, who came off looking desperate for attention. It's a sad moment for Drake because while he thinks these lines are clever, they only expose how far he's fallen. The disses aren't landing, and instead of showing the strength of his artistry, they only highlight how out of touch he's become. Even more telling is that these subtle shots have no effect on Kendrick's career. Kendrick continues to dominate, and Drake's criticisms seem like nothing more than a cry for help from an artist whose relevance is slipping away. And this frustration is only building. As Drake continues to throw out these pathetic little jabs, his anger at Kendrick is becoming more and more transparent. It's as though the entire rap world is watching, as Drake desperately clings to his past while Kendrick moves forward with ease. If there was ever a sign of just how desperate Drake is, it's his recent decision to headline the Wireless Festival 3 nights in a row. This is huge for one reason. Drake has always viewed himself as too big for music festivals. He turned down major festivals like Rolling Loud in the past, claiming he was above them. Fast forward to today, and Drake is scrambling to get any attention he can, even if that means performing at a festival he once thought was beneath him. What makes this even more interesting is the context behind it. Drake is using this festival as a way to try and regain some of the momentum he's lost, but it's clear that the move reeks of desperation. This wasn't just an opportunity, it was his only option. And the fact that he's doing this at all 3 nights of the festival only makes it more obvious. Drake is doing everything he can to stay relevant, even if it means lowering his standards. This moment speaks volumes about where Drake's career is now. He's no longer the artist who can pick and choose his performances. He's the artist who has to take whatever scraps are left to stay in the conversation. Drake's ability to shape and define hip-hop has been one of the cornerstones of his career. But now, the industry is moving without him. Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, and even newer faces in rap are pushing the genre in new directions, and Drake seems to be stuck in the past. While Kendrick Lamar is being hailed as the future of hip-hop, Drake is watching from the sidelines, as a new wave of artists takes the spotlight. This shift is not just about numbers, it's about influence. Kendrick has solidified his position at the top of the rap game, not just with his music, but by shifting the culture of hip-hop itself. He's expanded the reach of rap music to new audiences and is creating a legacy that will be remembered for years to come. Meanwhile, Drake is stuck trying to hold on to his old persona, using petty disses and half-hearted performances to mask the reality that his time at the top is slipping away. As the charts are dominated by Kendrick and others, it's becoming increasingly clear that Drake's reign is over. His once unshakable influence is no longer as impactful as it used to be. Fans are moving on and hip-hop is evolving beyond him. So where does this leave Drake? His legacy is undoubtedly complicated. On one hand, he's achieved more success than most artists could dream of. On the other hand, his recent actions, his petty disses, his desperate attempts to reclaim control are tarnishing his reputation. The real question is whether Drake can recover from this. Right now, it's hard to see how he can. As Kendrick Lamar continues to shine and new artists rise, Drake's legacy is slowly becoming defined by the desperate moments he's creating in his attempts to hold on. The hip-hop world is evolving, and Drake is stuck in a cycle of trying to reclaim a throne that's no longer his. It's clear that Drake's career is at a crossroads. His album is failing, his influence is fading, and Kendrick Lamar is only growing stronger. As Drake struggles to stay relevant, he's doing more harm than good to his legacy. The disses, the petty moves, and the desperate performances are all pointing to the same conclusion. Drake's time at the top may have already passed. So, what do you think? Can Drake come back from this? Is there any way he can regain his spot at the top? Or has Kendrick Lamar officially taken over hip-hop? Let me know in the comments below. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means more than ever, especially with how polarized the rap community is right now. And if you want to see just how bad SSS4U's numbers really are, check out the suggested video. You won't want to miss it.